A true entrepreneur is a doer and not a dreamer. Welcome, this is The Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Faith Katai. So on this episode, we are in Emmanuel area and I'm talking to Emmanuel Machwani, an entrepreneur who is into a paint manufacturing business. Emmanuel, welcome to The Entrepreneur.
Thank you so much, Faith, and thank you for having me.
Sure. Before we get into the details of your business, what you do, maybe you can briefly tell us about yourself. Who is Emmanuel?
So I'm Emmanuel Machwani, an entrepreneur and the CEO of Prime Paints Zambia Limited. It's a paint manufacturing company. I would say my business started way back somewhere around 2011. I was a street hustler, so to say, where I used to do my business from town center in Lusaka, and I'm a two-time college dropout from Unza and Evelyn Horn. I got interested in the hardware business, particularly paints, and that's what the passion has been, and it has driven me to this at this point.
Wonderful. So at school, were you interested in art?
I think our school was a technical school, so I was doing more of technical drawing, which is DMD. I used to do woodwork, and I think I've got a passion for DIY type of situations, and the paint actually reflects that partly as well.
Great. So tell us about your paint manufacturing business. What does it involve?
Yeah, so the paint manufacturing is involve the mixing of different raw materials, to the desired product that one would want, especially to us, we are mostly focusing on water-based products. So it's just a mixing of different raw materials. It's chemistry, so to say, something that I never did so much greatly at school. But right now, I think we are doing manufacturing paints, water-based and oil-based, as well as other products in terms of waterproofing.
Okay, so specifically, just in detail, tell us what type of paint are you manufacturing? Are there specialized ones?
Yeah, so apart from the decorative paints, we also do industrial paints, which are quick drying paints. We're also doing waterproofing products, like I mentioned. These are the ones that help, maybe roofs are leaking, we've got the roof seal, we've got the damp seal that would help with moisture content or penetrating dampness of the wall. That will actually seal it and protect the wall. So we do quite a number, and as Prime Paints, we continuously introduce new products as we go.
The road to success is often laden with obstacles which can sometimes make one quit. Like you can actually adapt, or you can actually make quitting seem like a better option. So in your establishment of this business, what are some of the obstacles you have faced?
I think we've faced quite a number of obstacles, but the biggest one is obviously lack of capital, or the difficulty to just make sure that you can have capital based on the passion that you have, so that you can grow your business. I think so many people have the insight, the know-how, and the plans to set up a business, but what we don't have is capital in itself, and we actually have expensive capital in the country, and that actually disadvantages us in so many ways, to grow or just start a business as a person.
Interesting. So, Emmanuel, tell us, how many people have you empowered in this business?
So we've actually empowered more than 20 people under Prime Paints Zambia, and obviously as we scale up the company in itself, we might have a lot more coming through into this organization.
So this business, paint manufacturing business, when people hear paint manufacturing, anything to do with paint manufacturing, they always have this mindset that it's male dominated. Do you have any females?
Yes, we do. Exactly, Faith, like you mentioned, it's perceived as a male-dominated industry, and that's what we've seen mostly in the paint manufacturing industry here in Zambia. But what we've done deliberately as Prime Paints, we're trying to advocate for also females to enter into this industry. Yes, we have females currently that are working in the factory, as well as just in management as Prime Paints, that are doing quite amazing, and they're ready to learn quite a lot.
We now pause for a short break, and let's now listen to two employees who have benefited from Prime Paints Zambia. These are employees who have been empowered, and it has really changed their livelihoods. Enjoy.
My name is Ziggy Malambo. I'm the Finance and Operations Manager here at Prime Paints. So I've been at Prime Paints for 3 years now. As I started, I was an accountant, but now I'm the Financial and Operations Manager. So how Prime Paints has helped me grow, it has really helped me grow professionally and personal as well. Yeah. It has helped me gain my confidence because it has entrusted me with a huge responsibility here. I have to look after a lot of people. So on that one, Prime Paints is really doing a great job.
Ndine Happiness Piri, ndine supervisor kuno ku production factory. Prime Paints Zambia yanchitira vintu vambiri. Nili able kupereka abana ku skulu kulipira na malentals. So awe Prime Paints intandiza kwambiri.
Welcome back. In case you have just joined us, this is The Entrepreneur. The Entrepreneur is a program that is designed to highlight individual entrepreneurs and how they have thrived in their businesses. And so I'm talking to Emmanuel Machwani, an entrepreneur who is into paint manufacturing business. Emmanuel, do you have any success stories? Do you have people who have come with testimonies after using your paint?
Yes, we have quite a number of testimonies. Apart from just ours, obviously, the greatest testimony is where we see our consumers coming back to us and giving us positive feedback, how our paints has actually done the walls, greatly, and they're coming back with photos, videos, and they would love to actually get more. We are not just dealing with, obviously, these consumers who are just individuals, but also contractors, as well as just homeowners, yeah. Then also on our side, obviously, we've had a very successful 2025 where we were actually nominated and award winners of the Presidential Award, recognized actually in the innovation part of the business in itself, and that really puts us on the map, but also gives us morale to say we're actually doing a greatest thing. And last year also we actually launched our products officially, and it was quite a good event where most representation from these big institutions that play a big part in the built environment, like the Zambia Institute of Architects. We had the Zambia Association of Manufacturers, which we are now a member of, as a manufacturer. We had also the Engineering Institute of Zambia as well, playing part in that event as well.
Okay, wonderful. So, what would be your appeal to government for entrepreneurs who are in this type of business?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs right now that are finding it hard how to navigate, in the nowadays of doing business in the country. And I feel there's a lot of policy, introduction that the government needs to bring in so that entrepreneurs can find it a little bit easier. Because I'll tell you for a fact that the cost of doing business is still high, and startup obviously they'll find it more high. Apart from that, we discuss about the issue of capital, which is very expensive. So there's a lot that we would want the government, as the body, to help out a lot of entrepreneurs and would-be entrepreneurs, and how they could navigate through, the law, obviously, production in terms of how the production in itself costs, and things like that. Yeah.
Awesome. So this machinery that you are using, where have you accessed it from?
So we accessed our machinery from China. Yeah, that's where we get most of our machinery from.
Wonderful. I'm aware, Emmanuel, that you have an initiative dedicated to empowering painters through professional training and certification to raise industry standards across Zambia. Kindly tell us about the Prime Paints Academy.
So the Prime Paints Academy was born out of a problem that we actually noticed on the market. So as Prime Paints, when we started our business, we're coming from the retail side of business. So mostly we were retailing the paint products that were already on the market. But one thing that we noticed is that most of these people that were coming to buy paints, the painters themselves, they didn't know actually how to utilize or use the paint in itself. They didn't know the composition of the paint, where you can apply it, how to apply it, the professional way of just using the paint in itself. So through that, we thought thought there's need for most people to understand how to use these products, so that most of our spaces, our schools, hospitals, they could look as amazing and nice as the way we would want them to be. So through that, we started engaging, with the communities to see how best we could bring that situation, and that's how Prime Paints Academy was born. So Prime Paint Academy is an academy that teaches professionally people how to apply these paint products, because we wouldn't want, I would tell you for a fact that most paint failures on surfaces is not actually the paint, it's actually the painter themselves. So noticing that, we want to make sure that people would learn how to paint. So we are giving that advantage to the people that are out there, creating employment, but also teaching them how they could sustain themselves, sustain their families, through such an academy that we've actually introduced as Prime Paints. We're from.
Okay, so the academy will be right here at the factory?
The academy, yes, we've got actually a setup of the classroom where the academy would be, so that people that are coming in as students in the academy, they're able to learn quite a lot from everything that is around the premises of the Prime Paints.
Let's talk about other businesses you're doing. Are you involved in any other business apart from this Prime Paints?
We are actually diversified a bit into something, into the food industry, but we've become the sole distributors of a product called Chila from South Africa, and we are supplying to most of the hotels and eating places. So these products are the ones that are using when they're making, when they're blending these mocktails and cocktails, and so that's one of the businesses that we as Prime Paints diversified into, so that we could see how best we could also grow in that industry.
Wow. Let's talk about the importance of diversification in business as an entrepreneur. Yeah. What would you say on that one?
I feel diversification is key also to grow the business also, but I would say that you need to know when to diversify. I think you can start a business and diversify at a certain point early in that stage. First, you need to make sure that you've created grounds where diversity could occur and can be appreciated. So there's time for that also to diversify, so that you can have extra income from another type of diversity that you've actually gotten into.
Emmanuel, when you talk about diversification, don't you think diversification would actually compromise on the quality of the products of an entrepreneur?
Yes and no, depending on how you look at it. I would say yes if the focus is diverted, but also no, depending on what we've done to what our company is called Blended, and that's what we've diversified into the food industry. What we've done is that we haven't gone in as Prime Paints fully, but we've actually invited partners to partner with us in that company. So we are not fully in charge. We actually we introduce a company and we just own about 35% to do that company. So meaning that our minds are not diverted fully to that. We still have Prime Paints to actually do Prime Paints Matters, and to make sure that our growth based on our trajectory, we continuously move forward and do our best in making sure that the paint company in itself becomes Zambia's #1 paint company, preferred obviously, and also we want to cross borders, we want to export, and I think that will be a plus for our country in terms of revenue, in terms of growth, obviously, in terms of sustaining the kwacha in itself. Yeah, I think that's what we've done.
As we come to the end of the program, what are your closing remarks?
So as Prime Paints, we believe that quality is the way to go, and with our standard, we are focusing more on the international standard and quality. So our focus is more on quality and not on quantity. So that's what we're trying to make sure that Zambians could get the best of the paints here in the country.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for giving us this time.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's good to have your Prime Paints. Hope you come back again.
Viewers, there you have it. We've heard for ourselves that quality is actually very important. As an entrepreneur, focus on quality and not quantity for you to achieve it out there. This has been The Entrepreneur. I have been your host, Faith Katai. Goodbye.